Welcome to the best gambling show on the internet. This is the home of the money pick. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. Week 7 Vegas spread picks. And last week, week 6, we saw some of the worst officiating in NFL history. And I'll be honest, I've been watching this league 25 plus years. And I've never seen a week like that. And I can't believe some of the slop the NFL is serving us. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to dig in week 7. Get in this trench with me. Slam the damn like button. First game, we got the Pittsburgh Steelers at the Cincinnati Bengals. Bengals plus 5.5. I'll be doing a Thursday night video. I got the Bengals to cover, Steelers to win. And my only comments on this game is, man, I just wish this game was on Sunday. If this game was on Sunday, I would be money picking the Bengals into oblivion. It's just, there's a few questions. I mean, does Flacco have enough time to even learn the playbook? This Bengals team did look better against the Packers. I wasn't surprised by it. But it's just on a short week. It is a really rough spot for the Bengals. On the other side, and the reason why I wanted this on Sunday is I just think the Steelers team is frauds. And I was saying the same thing last year, and we had to wait and we had to take advantage of it. But how long do we have to wait this year? It's probably going to be a while, but I think we'll be able to take advantage of the Steelers. Give me the Bengals to cover, Steelers to win. Video coming Wednesday night. Next game, we got the Carolina Panthers at the New York Jets. Panthers minus 1.5. Money, money, money. Panthers winning the cover. Trust me, this is the last thing I want to be doing. I don't want to do this. And we don't know if the Panthers are going to show up. Bryce Young's home and road splits are some of the worst you're ever going to see in the NFL. So we have to just put that out there. Better beware. Obviously, when you bet the Panthers, you know what you're getting into. And when I look at this Jets team, I'm looking at the worst team in the NFL minus the Tennessee Titans. And I'm seeing a Jets team that, credit to the defense for fighting their tails off against the Denver Broncos. But can we just say maybe that was an outlier? Maybe that's a London game, which we're getting served a lot of. And it doesn't seem like the players are ready to go during these games. And I'm looking at a Jets defense that they drop coverages. They're bad in man-to-man. They're not great against the run. And I thought this Jets defense would be a plus unit going into the year. And they've been absolutely hapless. On the other end, on the other side, on the offensive side, we have a Jets offense that is just absolutely without rhythm and without coaching. And you can blame Justin Fields, and obviously he was holding on to the ball too damn long against the Broncos. But now that Garrett Wilson is out, who are the receivers? Johnson, Lazard. There isn't a lot of receivers. I think they have 3 receivers on the roster right now. And this is the Panthers defense that, listen, I'm not going to say the Panthers defense is good. I'm not going to lie to anyone on this show. Like I said, better beware. But this is a Panthers team that is better coached this year. And we're seeing the Panthers able to stop the run. Derek Brown has been an absolute tour de force in the middle. And that's uplifting a Panthers defense that obviously doesn't have a lot of talent. Now, if Tyrod Taylor plays this game for the Jets, obviously do not bet this, but I'm pretty sure Aaron Glenn is just going stoic and he's putting Justin Fields back in there, and you're seeing a Justin Fields that just doesn't have a lot of confidence, and I'm starting to feel bad for him. We're not even seeing him running. And I know the Jets offensive line is bad. Like, I know the Denver Broncos have a great defensive line and Vance Joseph will attack you in waves. I get it. I love Vance Joseph. But is it even mathematically possible for Justin Fields to take 9 sacks in a game? He might be one of the most athletic quarterbacks we've seen minus Mike Vick. I just don't know if it's mathematically possible. So I think the Panthers win this game based on that. And the last matchup I want to say in this game is I'm not sure the Jets can stop the run. And I think if Dowdle gets going and the Panthers just play this game like late 80s, early 90s football, run the ball, keep the ball out of Bryce Young's hand, I think the Panthers will be fine. They'll go into the Meadowlands, which is a dead stadium already, and I've been to a lot of games there. Give me the Panthers winning the cover, make it a damn money pick. Obviously, this isn't how we want to spend our weekend, but we're here to make money. Next game, we got the Philadelphia Eagles. Hurts at my Minnesota Vikings. Vikings plus 2.5. Vikings winning the cover if Carson Wentz starts. If J.J. McCarthy starts, I just don't think we can do it. And I don't think you should be betting this game regardless, because if you're betting this game, you're not betting this saying, I think the Vikings are going to play good. We know the Vikings always play good at home. A Kevin O'Connell team coming off a bye week. Like, we're not betting it for that reason. Like, people are going to bet this game if they go on the Vikings just to fade the Eagles, and I completely get that. But people have tried to fade the Eagles many a times, and I get it. It just doesn't seem like they have an offensive coordinator, and we saw this 2 years ago at Brian Johnson, and we saw the instant boost, the dopamine rush that offense got when Kellen Moore came in. But Kellen Moore's not walking through that door. So I have the Vikings to win in the cover. And from what KOC has been saying this week, he's just giving hints like McCarthy's like not going to go. Like, we know Wentz has a stiff shoulder. He's going to be limited in practice. But a Wentz revenge game, sign me up for that. And this Vikings defense is really good. And we all know the Philadelphia Eagles offensive struggles. I'll let you guys opine about that. But honestly, the thing that has been concerning me the most, also, people need to understand the Eagles were without rhythm last year, and I was one of the few people defending Sirianni after that Browns game, firstly. But the Eagles offense, they lacked rhythm at times last year. That's not what I'm concerned about. I'm concerned about the secondary. They got another big injury. I don't know if Vic Fangio is going to be able to dial it up and confuse Wentz. And outside of Cooper DeJean, is anyone covering anyone in that secondary? Then you see Zadarius Smith retire today, and you're just wondering what's going on with this Eagles defense. Is Jalen Carter going to get healthy? Is Jalen Carter even interested when he plays some games? I just can't count on the Eagles right now, and it's more so because the defense. I think the Vikings winning the cover, plus 2.5 at home. Tough place to play in Minnesota. Next game, we got the Los Angeles Rams at the Jacksonville Jags. Jags plus 3. Jags winning the cover. If it was a different week, I would slam this. I'll tell you what, if it was a different week, this would be one we should slam. It's just these London games, they're all ugly, and I'm tired of it. I'm tired of the slop we're served in London games. Listen, I enjoy watching bad football teams go at it, but this London slop we're getting is just too much. It really is. And listen, like, my wife felt included when they bring the games to Brazil, and I get it. Like, I'm benefiting from them bringing these games overseas. Like, I have viewers on Patreon from the UK. Like, it's great. But I just feel like the NFL is selling out and serving us slop. Like, and people just are gonna choose to churn off. It really is. Like, if you want to watch slop, you can go to Netflix. You can churn on Twitter on your phone. Like, you can do that. The NFL is the last great thing, and I'm sick of seeing people get served with slop. But let's get to the game. I think the Jags played well against the Seahawks. I left that game more impressed with the Seahawks than I was down on the Jags. I felt like Lawrence played good. I felt like this Jags offense just came up against the defense that was ready for them. But I don't know if this Rams defense is playing at the level they should, especially the defensive line. I've been surprised by it, and Jared Verse and Phins should be wrecking games, and sometimes they've been stagnant at best, a la against the San Francisco 49ers. And we're looking at a Rams offense that just hasn't had enough rhythm this year. I don't know if it's Stafford's health. Obviously, Nakua being out of this game, I will repeat, Nakua isn't going to play. And if you look at MVPs in this league and you take out the quarterbacks, has any player been more important to his team than Puka Nakua? I don't think so. I just don't see this Rams offense in rhythm. You can blame McVay. You can blame Matty Stafford. You certainly can't blame this offensive line, who have been great at run blocking. I just think the Jags are able to win this game with a little bit of London home cooking. Jags +3 winning the cover. Next game, we got the Las Vegas Raiders. They got one. At the Kansas City Chiefs. Raiders +12. I got the Raiders to cover, Chiefs to win. Doesn't it seem like a Raider spot? I mean, Carr gave the motivational speech to Geno, and we saw the Raiders come out. But it helps you when you get a Brian Callahan-led Tennessee Titans. It does. Let's calm down, Raiders fans. But I enjoyed seeing you guys get that W, and I enjoyed watching the film this morning. But I just think this is a Chiefs team that plays down to opponents, and there's really no science here. I'm also worried about the Chiefs' run defense, and I know Colton Miller's not going to play for the Raiders. He's out for the whole year. I know the Raiders haven't ran the ball at all, which has been a disappointment. But I think that doesn't it seem like an Ashton Genty game, a game where he can get 80 to 95 yards and keep Patty off the field, and then honestly, like I'm not sold on the Chiefs' running game on offense, getting back into rhythm. And I know the Raiders can't cover anyone, so obviously Patty wants to slang it around the park, and that's fine and fair, and he will against that Raiders secondary. But I also think this Raiders pass rush came alive, and I think they'll be very active in this game. Raiders cover, Chiefs win. If I was a D-Gen, maybe I would bet the Raiders. Next game, we got the Miami Dolphins. Tua at the Cleveland Browns. Browns -3. Money, money, money. Browns winning the cover. Make it a money pick. Make it a money pick. This sucks to do because I felt like Kevin Stefanski coached the worst game in the league in week 6 from the film I watched. Didn't Dylan Gabriel throw the ball fucking 50 times? And it's not even about the pass attempts. It's about how many times I saw the Browns in empty sets. And the play calling was predictable on offense. And they never really even tried to get Junkins going or the run game going. And the Steelers haven't stopped the run the whole year. So just know that going into this bet that Kevin Stefanski is someone who is really, really sliding by on that Coach of the Year award. And the mascot is the Browns. But this is a Miami Dolphins team that is just without leadership right now. And it's not really about Mike McDaniel. It's about Tua. And for him to call out the squad when he throws 3 interceptions, and it's just honestly hard for me to believe as someone who made a lot of money on this Mike and Tua project. It's really sad to see it flame out this way. And I think the Browns are going to run the ball on the Phins, and I think that's a big part of the game. We did the player prop video, and I had Vidal over 30.5 rushing yards. I think he got fucking 13 carries, and he went for $115 or 20. I just don't think this Dolphins team can stop the run, and I'm not sure how much fight they have. Obviously, you don't want to spend your money. You don't want to spend your time betting a Browns team against the Miami Dolphins. But I just think the Browns run it for $1.50, and I don't think the Dolphins are going to give them any resistance. Of course, you worry about the Dolphins' offense because one thing, too, it can do well is get the ball out quick, and we've seen the Browns' defense have mental lapses. But I just want to remind everyone, this Browns' defense is a very good defense. I don't think they're the best defense in the league like everyone has been saying. That goes to the Houston Texans, but I still think this Browns' defense is absolutely phenomenal. Give me the Browns -3. Make it a damn money pick. Plug your nose when you bet it. Next game, we got the New Orleans Saints at the Chicago Bears. The Bears. Saints +5.5. I got the Saints to cover, Bears to win. Talk me through it. I know this is a show for me to give the picks, but I kind of want your opinion on this. Am I the only one who's really tempted to bet the Saints? And I already have enough bad teams on this card that I'm betting, so I can't do it. But I do feel like the Bears just had 2 fluke wins back-to-back. And you can't call a fluke win against Jaden Daniels and a fit-in-game Commanders team a fluke. But I did feel like the weather benefited them, especially their porous pass defense. And I do feel like this is the bottom 5-6 defense in the league still. And we saw the Saints offense just completely fly against a pretty decent outfit in the Patriots defense. I think Rattler is able to throw this ball for about 220, 240. And I do think the Saints run game comes alive again. It's tough running, tough sledding, running against the Patriots. We know that with their gap scheme and Vrabel looming on the sideline. But I do think they'll be able to get back to running the ball. And I would not be shocked if the Saints came out and won this game. Now, Ben Johnson came out with a better second-half game plan on offense, and credit to Ben for making those adjustments. But I still feel like this Bears team is a little bit limited, and I want everyone to remember, and I know the NFL comes thick and fast, especially these Tuesday picks, and we just saw the Bears get a big win last night. But the Bears were 4-2 last year, and you saw how the season finished. I just feel like the Saints team is getting better. Give me the Saints to cover, Bears to win. I really like the Saints cover. I really do, man. Next game, we got the New England Patriots at the Tennessee Titans. Patriots -7. New coach bounce. Brian Callahan fired. I was calling for that from week 9 last year, and I'm not one to attack coaches, but he's really bad. So you have to think this is going to be a little bit of a new coach bounce for the Titans, and that's why I have the Titans to cover. But Titans fans, I remember Mike McCoy as a head coach and play caller, so I'm not expecting too much. Titans cover, Pats win. Not a lot of science there, guys. Next game, we got the Indianapolis Colts at the Los Angeles Chargers. Colts +1.5. Colts winning the cover against the Chargers. I'm going to have to take this one down to the Friday deadline, Patreon users. And let's be honest about it. The Colts' performance against the Cardinals wasn't great. And we did see a few fractures in the Daniel Dimes facade. He should have thrown like 2 or 3 picks. The pick he threw was just absolutely horrendous. But let's give the Colts a little bit of a break there. People getting injured pre-game like Shadavius Ward, their most important player in the secondary. But here's the reason why the Colts aren't a money pick. Firstly, because Daniel Dimes, Danny did show a little bit of chinks in the armor, so to speak. And you're going into this game on the road, and we know Herbert is a way better quarterback than Daniel. But I'm still worried about the Chargers' offensive line, and we're seeing Joe Alt might come back. And if Joe Alt comes back, this is a definite layoff situation. There's some injuries I'm watching for the Colts. Like, is Kenny Moore going to play? I don't think Mike Hilton's going to play. And when you lose like Shadavius Ward and Mike Hilton, those guys were really important to the Colts secondary, but Mike Hilton's really important in terms of getting pressure on the passer. And that's one thing about the Colts. We know they just don't have a lot of edge rushing help. They're good in the interior, but edge rushing wise, they're lacking. But I do think they're able to get pressure on Herbert and this makeshift Chargers offensive line, and I can't see the Chargers running it. Give me the Colts to win in the cover. Actually, making a money pick. Money. I'm going to have to go with it. Colts win in a shootout. The +1.5 is really nice. So give me the money pick there. I'm not going to be timid. Next game, got the New York Giants at the Denver Broncos. Broncos -7. Broncos winning the cover. Guys, I actually like this one. It's just we have to respect Jackson Dart, Scatterboo, and the vibes the Giants are playing with. And we also have to just look at Bo Nix and say maybe Lawson was right about Bo Nix last year. I'm getting confirmation bias sucked into my veins. Unfortunately, this is a game we should be able to bet. This is a really tough spot for Jackson Dart, going to altitude, going to mile high, going against the Broncos defense that is absolutely ferocious, whether you talk about the defensive line, whether you talk about Vance Joseph looming on the sideline, or whether you talk about Pat Surtain and Riley Moss and that secondary that's absolutely magnificent. I'm going the Broncos -7, winning the cover, but this Broncos offense is really concerning. And you also, we know Shane Bowen, the defense coordinator for the Giants, is one of the worst coordinators in this league right now. He needs to be fired. He's next on my list outside of Callahan. But with that being said, there's still a lot of talent on that defensive line of the Giants. And if you stop the Broncos run game, they could struggle. Broncos winning the cover with the -7. Next game, we got the Washington No-Names at the Dallas Cowboys. No Names -1.5. Guys, I don't know what to do. I'm going to go No Names winning the cover. Guys, I don't know. I mean, there's no science, so maybe later in the week I'll do a video on this. I know we'll be able to grab some good player props. Next game, we got the Green Bay Packers at the Arizona Cardinals. Cards +6.5. Cards to cover, Packers to win. Guys, I feel really confident about this if Jacoby Brissett plays. And I'm not making a value judgment here. I'm not saying Jacoby Brissett is a better quarterback than Kyler Murray. What I am saying is this Cardinals offense needed to get back to basics. They needed to get back to 2 tight end sets. They needed to get back to the single back formation. They needed to do the basic things right, and then you add play action on top of that, and we saw the Bengals look a hell of a lot better when you just get to the basic things, and sometimes not having a mobile quarterback does that. And Jacoby was able to distribute the pill to his patients, and we finally saw Marvin Harrison have a great game. He was great against the Colts. Give him credit, although he took a concussion. But also, let's talk about the Packers, and maybe you could say, oh, the Packers are playing down the competition, or the Packers are an absolute lion, saber-tooth, but they're playing with their food. I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, I think so too, and I think there's some truth with it. But I was pretty fucking sure the Bengals will cover with Joe Flacco coming in literally off the fucking street to play. I was pretty fucking sure about it. In a week that I was misfiring quite a bit. And we're looking at a Packers team that just isn't running the ball great this year. We're also looking at a Cardinals defense that maybe they get healthier. I mean, the Cardinals defense has been quite a big disappointment this year. But in the desert, can Jonathan Gannon rally these boys? Certainly. And I feel like the Packers are a run-first offense. And I still feel that way. And if Josh Jacobs doesn't eat or Josh Jacobs doesn't go off, do you trust Jordan Love on the road to survey this and cover 6.5 points for you? I certainly don't. I don't. And I am concerned with some of the stuff I'm seeing from the Packers. And this isn't like a Jordan Love hate session. I think Matt LaFleur has been exposed a little bit this year. I think these Packers wide receivers are overrated by you guys and the fucking media. And so it makes Jordan Love look worse than he is because everyone keeps saying, like, Matthew Golden's that guy. Christian Watson's that guy. Packers draft another fucking receiver in the 3rd round. Wicks is that guy. Like, insert young receiver. Reed was that guy last year. It's like every fucking year, it's like an above average wide receiver is supposed to become elite just because the Packers are young. You see how that is? You know, like you get a young guy, it's easy to sell the fans, it's easy to sell the people because everyone's lazy, no one watches the film, no one does their fucking research. So it makes Jordan Love look bad because you know him, but you don't know who Dontavian Wicks is or Reed, or you don't know who Matthew Golden is, but he comes in and they hype him up. And I told you that shit about Matthew Golden coming in. Like, I've seen this song and dance before. We've done this tango before, guys. So I just think the Packers are more limited than people think on offense. And we're 2 straight games where the pass rush has kind of disappeared. And we got a Cardinals team that is fighting for their lives. We got Jonathan Gannon who's fighting and crawling for his job. Give me the Cardinals to cover, Packers to win. Next game, we got the Atlanta Falcons at the San Francisco 49ers. Falcons plus 2.5. Everyone's going to go to Falcons here, I know. And credit to what the Falcons did. I mean, it was impressive. Let's be honest, against the Bills. But I got the 49ers to win in the cover. And I hate to do the lazy thing where it says, I don't know if this is a good spot for the Falcons. But I don't think it's a great spot. Obviously, for the 49ers, they've had better spots before. Bosa's not walking through that door. Warner's not walking through that door. But Kittle might be walking through that door. Purdy might be walking through that door. And I think the 49ers get healthier this game. And I think this is a game they're targeting. And a lot of people are saying, Bob Saleh hasn't made that big a difference on their defense. I completely disagree. I'm fine with what the 49ers defense is offering on the field. Sometimes you just have to tip the fedora to Baker Mayfield. And he came through with us because that was the biggest bet on Patreon. I just think the 49ers find a way to win the game. I have no science. I would not bet this game. I'm sure the Falcons would be the most bet team going into this game. But I like this 49ers run defense. I feel like they've been valiant this year. They've been disciplined in their run fits, and I think they'll do enough against Bijan. And they're going to make Michael Penix beat them. And if you watched that game last night against the Bills, I don't think Michael Penix is good enough. And I'm being completely honest about it. He got bailed out by a lot of illegal contacts in the first half. He got bailed out by Bijan Robinson just being phenomenal. He got bailed out by game flow because when you're able to play from ahead, you can just fucking run the rock. If this is an even game, or if the 49ers get up in this game, he's going to have to throw it. And he threw it 16 times to Drake London, I believe. I don't know if that works. I don't know if that works against a competent defense. We have to give the Falcons credit, but we have to also admit that the Bills were poor. They just were really poor defensively, and they were poor in the offensive line in terms of communication, picking up those blitzes. But I am impressed by the Falcons' defense. That's why I want no one to bet this, even if you like the 49ers vibe. Next game, we got the Tampa Bay Bucs. Thank you, Baker. Thank you. At the Detroit Lions. Lions -5. Money, money, money. Money. Dan Campbell, bring me home, baby. Bring me home. guys, I gave you the caution you needed last week about the Chiefs-Lions game. I feel like that's a big part of my job, to give you caution and throw a little cold water on stuff you guys want to do. But I don't think the Lions played bad against the Chiefs, firstly. And I don't think you guys were wrong in your supposition to bet them. Like, I don't, firstly. So let's get that out of the way. And I did pick the Lions. I just told you, like, you shouldn't be betting this because there's, like, fucking tons of backup corners going to play. So that same situation is working for the Lions going into this game. Like, I think we're down to, like, third and fourth string corner, maybe even fourth and fifth because Avonte Maddox got hurt. There's not going to be any Branch in the secondary as well, which I hope he appeals it and he's able to play. But when I look at this Bucs team, do they just take a game off? Do they just get healthy for the stretch run and they might have a fight on their hands if the Falcons are for real? And you're looking at a Bucs team that is just a bunch of fucking warriors. But it comes to a point when there's just too many injuries. Like Egbuka, he's got a hamstring. He's going to miss this game. Godwin's going to miss this game. Now, does Mike Evans come back and complicate it? Probably. But Mike Evans is over 30, and it's a hamstring injury. That can go at any time. But you want to know what doesn't go at any time? This Detroit offense is a fucking train. And this freight train will get going. Now, the Bucs, one thing we know Todd Bowles' defense is going to do, they're going to stay on their run fits, they're going to slang blitzes at you, and they're going to be sturdy at the point of attack. But I just feel like with the holes, with the missed coverages, with people falling down in the secondary, and the lack of talent in the secondary for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I feel like the Lions will be able to attack it. I feel like the Lions will get a ton of explosive plays, and that's going to be the difference in the game. Now, it could be more complicated than you think going into it because I'm not sure the Lions are going to run the ball at the level we're accustomed to seeing. But with that being said, if the Lions have a better game flow than they did against the Chiefs, they'll be able to have that run-pass balance, and I think Goff will eventually pick apart this Tampa Bay secondary. Give me the Lions, -5, winning the cover. Get this one in early. Make it a damn money pit because this is only going to go the other way. This is only going to go the other way. This was at -4 on Monday morning, and it keeps matriculating up. Next game, we got the Houston Texans at the Seattle Seahawks. Hawks -3.5. Hawks winning the cover. I mean, the Seahawks had a great game against the Jags. And I felt like that was a game where the Seahawks just were excellent and the Jags played good, but they came up with nothing. Like, I don't think that was like a bad Jags performance. Not saying the Jags are a great team or anything like that, but I don't think the Jags put in like a D+, C- performance. Like, I think that was a fair C+, B-, B performance from the Jags. But the Seahawks team is just excellent. The run-pass balance, the play action, Sam Darnold hitting him deep. And I do think there's going to be a Sammy D letdown. There is going to be a regression. And this Texans defense, for me, is best in the league. But I just wonder, are we going to have a dance partner in C.J. Stroud in this Texans offense? I don't think the Texans are going to be able to run it. So it's going to be on Stroud, and this is a Seahawks defense that is getting pressure, and they are playing nasty. I feel like you can attack the Seahawks secondary, but is Stroud going to have enough time to purvey and get the ball down the field to Nico Collins? We've seen the Texans struggle against way weaker defenses, and the Seahawks defense is just playing at a high level right now. Maybe the bye week helps the Texans. I'm not necessarily sure. And about the Texans defense and about this matchup against the Seahawks offense and Sammy D, I do feel like, and also like the the Texans already have like 2-3 defensive tackles out. I always felt like the weak spot of the Houston Texans, which they've been good at this so far this year, is you just run up right up the middle in the A gap. And that's the weakness. That's really the only soft spot in this Texans defense you can exploit. I think the Hawks are able to run it, and they have that run-pass balance, and then the play action opens up, and Sam Darnold gets cooking. I also like the under in this game. It opened at 42.5. It's at 41, so just keep an eye on that. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you share the videos. The best gambling show on the internet. Let's get this money. Thank you, guys.